kind of want to take a look around the league and see what's going on, weigh in on a few things, and that's how we'll do it. But the first game on my list is Arizona at Carolina. And with this game, the big question, I think, is surrounding Anquan Boldin. From what I understand, his injury is a little more serious than they originally thought. So Anquan Boldin may not play this week again. He had to get several plates put into his head, just it's like a serious deal. So Anquan Boldin may be out again this week. He could still play though. All right, he'll come out. The injury report will come out Friday, and he will be listed as either questionable or doubtful, I would imagine. But there's a chance he gets in there, a chance he doesn't, a chance that he gets in there for a little bit but doesn't play too much and doesn't factor in. So that would make. Well, for one, Larry Fitzgerald, you start every week anyway. I don't need to tell you that. It might make him a little more valuable, and that Sean Breston, the guy that's been backing up Anquan Boldin in Arizona, is having a few decent games. The only roadblock here is that Carolina has an incredibly tough defense. So if you can start somebody, I know I have Breston this week, and I could plug him in. I'm playing Musin Muhammad instead. I have a few buys. I have Eddie Royal, Greg Jennings on buys, so I had to kind of do something with my receivers. I like Moose Muhammad better than Breston this week myself. Could end up being, could end up biting me in the you-know-what, but we'll see. What else do I like in that game? I would stay away from the Arizona running backs, Tim Hightower, Edgerrin James. These guys are suitable options most weeks, but like I said, that Carolina defense is pretty tough, and they're at home in Carolina, so I'd stick to the passing attack if I were you. The two guys I'd definitely start, Kurt Warner, Larry Fitzgerald. Over on the other side of the ball, Carolina. Really, I like the passing attack here. Like I said, I'm starting Moose Muhammad. I like Jake Delhomme. I really, really like Steve Smith. He had a big week last week. He and Delhomme are starting to get their chemistry back, and that's scary for the rest of the entire league. Steve Smith is a great start this week. Unfortunately, I'm going against Steve Smith this week, but truth be told, he's just a terrific player, and he will be this week at home against Arizona, who lets about, I think, 220 yards a game through the air. Not real good. So Carolina, I like that, and I don't want to say it, maybe even John Stewart, running back John Stewart. It's hard to tell with D'Angelo Williams back there what will happen, but I stick to the passing attack for sure. For sure, I stick to the passing attack. Jake Delhomme, obviously, like I said, Steve Smith, and a possible Moose Muhammad if you're in a bind like I am, and especially if you're a point per reception. That works out good. Atlanta at Philadelphia is the next game on my list. On Atlanta's side of the ball, a lot's been made about Matt Ryan, rookie quarterback, how good he's looked, how well he's been playing. Boy, that Philadelphia defense is top-notch, though, so I would hesitate starting Matt Ryan. I don't know that you will be running with Ryan anyway. I don't know that he's necessarily cracked the top 10 or even 12 in the league, which means he probably won't be starting in your league. But he is making a lot of noise, and he's a guy that boy, next year after that, could really, really be a nice player for you. Roddy White, though, the wide receiver in Atlanta, is turned into a guy that's a must-start every week. Roddy White is a big-time receiver. He's a big-play guy, and Matt Ryan seems to really, really like him. They have a nice thing going there in Atlanta. So, start Roddy White. You always have to, I guess. I guess you do. And Michael Turner, running back Michael Turner, it figures to have somewhat of a bounce-back week. Atlanta was on a bye last week. The week before, week 6, Atlanta played Chicago. Michael Turner held to 54 yards, I believe. Not a real strong outing. He hasn't really played well against tougher defenses this year. And Philadelphia does have the 9th-ranked rush defense in the league. But they are allowing about 90 yards a game on the ground. So, it's not that they're not letting anyone get 100 yards. I mean, 90 yards is really, really close to 100. Michael Turner has shown he can productively move the chains. So this week I expect somewhat of a bounce-back week. I'm not looking for one of those 150-yard, 2-touchdown performances like he likes to throw out there every now and then. But I could see a decent game happening, and possibly even might even punch one in, goal line punch one in. But still, don't expect huge things from Michael Turner. But don't worry about plugging him in. If he hurt you last time, I think he'll do a little better for you this time. At Philadelphia, like I said, it's Atlanta at Philadelphia. On the Philadelphia side of the ball, rumor is Brian Westbrook, will be playing this week. Westbrook will be in the game. That's what I'm reading. So if you have Brian Westbrook, certainly that is just good news for you, seeing as how you've been struggling to find a running back to plug in to fill in for Brian Westbrook, because he's really a one-of-a-kind running back, and hard to fill in his spot with a guy like even Coral Buckhalter or anything like that. Brian Westbrook coming back is really, really good news for Westbrook owners. But how durable is he going to be this season? Hard to tell, man. Westbrook goes down. He goes down. He's high mileage, man. He's got a lot of wear and tear on that body, and he's not old yet. So, there's a question mark on Brian Westbrook for me as far as the future goes, but he is supposed to be back this week. Atlanta has a porous run D, so if he is back and he's feeling well, expect a nice day from Brian Westbrook. And through the air, Donovan McNabb has been, he started off really, really hot, then he had a couple down games. This could be a week where McNabb has another one of those big games like we saw earlier in the season. Expect guys like Deshaun Jackson. I don't know if Reggie Brown's back this week or not. I don't think so. Definitely Deshaun Jackson. Who else do they have? Kevin Curtis, if he's in. Whoever Donovan's throwing to this weekend, put it like that. Whoever Donovan's throwing the ball to this weekend will probably have a good game. I like the way that looks in Philadelphia. Moving on. Really intriguing matchup here. Next on my list, Buffalo at Miami. Two teams that are exceeding expectations this season. Buffalo, good young quarterback, Trent Edwards is getting it done. Lee Evans, even though if you go back and you watch some of the earlier episodes of the Fantasy Football Face Punch, which is easy to do on our MySpace page, I have all of our prior shows listed in a blog. There's a link to all of our prior shows if you'd like to go check those out. I mean, I don't know why you would. Why would you want to watch a Week 1 show when we're going into Week 8? Just to point and snicker at how wrong I was, maybe. But I'm just saying. I slammed Lee Evans so hard. If you go watch those old shows, I said don't ever have Lee Evans on your team. He will kill you. He will let you down. He will totally disappoint. Well, I could not have been more wrong about anyone this season, because Lee Evans has really, really been a terrific play all year long. And he seems to be catching more balls now, which has always been my knock on him. It's like, well, yes, he scores points, but he does it in a Chris Chambers way. When he only gets 2 or 3 catches a game, but they're for touchdowns. So it's kind of if he scores, he's going to win the game for you. But if he doesn't get in the end zone, he's going to lose the game for you because he's going to post you a fat nothing. But that's not been the case this year. Lee Evans, he's had a few games where he's had a low number of catches, but touchdowns that have helped out. But this last game, I think he caught 9 balls. When you see things like that, when you have a guy catching 9, 10 balls in a game, you know that the quarterback is looking his direction, and it's a safe play, especially in point per reception leagues. So Lee Evans is always a play now. And listen, if I get him on my team, he'll be brutal. So you keep him on your team and let him be good.